This is the Trackting ONE, a compact GPS tracker that's super easy to install, difficult to locate, and the perfect way to keep tabs on your pride and joy.
A tracker can massively improve your chances of getting your bike back should you be unlucky enough to have it stolen, but I think the Trackting has some specific features which do set it apart from some of the other trackers on the market. So in this video, stick with us as we go through our 10 favourite things about it.
But before we get underway, a massive thanks to Trackting for supporting the channel and sponsoring this video. Naturally, it won't be a hyper-critical review, but I will say we only work with brands who we think make great products. And so this is more so an overview of the best things about a tracker that we would genuinely use ourselves.
So what exactly is it that the Trackting ONE does? Well, like any other GPS motorcycle tracker, it's there to keep track of your bike should it ever, unfortunately, be stolen. It does that with the fob and the tracking device, and basically if this fob is out of range of the tracker or away from it, aka you're away from your bike, and then someone tries to move the bike or push it away, then it'll trigger a notification to the Trackting app. On top of that, it also makes a phone call at the same time because notifications can be easy to miss, whereas a phone call perhaps is a little more likely to get your attention. And this should all happen within 20 to 30 seconds of it detecting the bike being moved. Now, as soon as it starts to alert you, it starts grabbing the GPS location as well, and you can go into the app and see where the bike is, but also the speed and direction in which it's heading. Hopefully that means you can start to follow it and you'll get updates every 15 seconds. So realistically, you've got a good idea of where your bike's heading, and hopefully it gives you the best possible chance of tracking it down and getting it back.
It is also worth adding that if the movement stops, well, the tracker drops a pin and then goes back into standby mode. This means it's preserving battery even if the thief keeps it parked for days, and that means if it is moved again, then it can fire back up and send you the location as soon as it's on the go. On top of that though, if the bike is static, it does make the tracker more difficult to find with a device like a GPS detector.
Now, the other thing it does, which I really like about Trackting, is it gives you a GPS pin every time you park the bike up. You might think this has been designed to help you remember where the bike is, basically, if you park in like a humongous car park. And yeah, I guess it would be useful for that. But I think for me, the value is more so the reassurance that it gives you that the tracker is working every time you park the bike. I've got similar trackers that work in a similar way, but they're more so just running in the background. And so while they probably are doing their job like 99% of the time, there's just this niggling doubt that you haven't heard from it. And so maybe you're thinking, is it still working? So yeah, sounds like a simple feature, maybe doesn't sound that useful on the face of it, but actually in using Trackting, I've found this to be one of the best things, that you always know it's pinned your bike every time you walk away from it.
So that's roughly how it works in practice, but one of the other things I really like about it is just how easy it is to fit. This all stems back from the fact that it uses a fob along with the tracker, and when the fob's present, such as when you're riding the bike for example, it means that the tracker is disarmed, and so any time that you're using the bike, it's not really using much power. Then, when the fob's away from the bike, like when you've parked up, that's when it's passively armed. But ultimately, most of the time, you'd be hoping that the bike's not moving when it's parked. And so basically, for most of your usage, the tracker's not using a lot of power at all, and that means it can run off its own internal battery. That means no power cables back to the bike's battery. It doesn't need hooking up. And so not only does that make the mounting process very, very simple indeed, but also it gives you so much versatility as to where you locate the tracker. Now, over the time of running this channel, we've worked with plenty of security product makers, and we work with Lightlock, for example, who make the D-locks. And from speaking to most people, it's fairly common knowledge that most thieves will have a quick look under the saddle to make sure a bike's not tracked if they've stolen it. Tracing back from the battery to a tracker if it's wired up is obviously a really quick way to find it. And so Yeah, I think it makes it much easier to hide this tracker, but also gives you that versatility as to where you put it. And that's also aided by the fact that it's really very small. I think it's probably the smallest tracker that I've had the pleasure of using so far. Basically, a couple of zip ties, you can see it's got some notches, awesome strong adhesive will do the job, and it'll fit in a lot of places. We're having a look on this bike behind this side panel. I think if you glued it or used some adhesive up the top there, it would fit in behind. But again, maybe you think that's a little bit obvious, but I do think it would fit in behind these radiator shrouds. I tried that earlier, it fits just behind there. You could put it under this little tank finisher. I even think it would fit if you took this headlight nacelle off, you know, somewhere between the bodywork and the headlight gubbins. So it really does allow you to be very creative and give you the best chance of keeping it hidden. And also it's very portable too. I use a lot of press bikes, so it's super easy to move between bikes. But for everybody else, if you sold your bike and wanted to fit it to a new bike, it's not any headache at all. Just take it out and put it in the new bike. I think another really valuable thing as well about it running off its own internal battery is the fact that it will never drain the battery of the bike. I've had trackers in the past that have accelerometers in them, and they say they only draw power when the bike's moving, when it detects movement, for example. But then I've parked maybe for the day outside work and it's been particularly windy, and it's ended up draining the battery because it's basically been on and off for the whole day. Nobody likes having to bump their bike outside work or having to jump it off another vehicle. But fortunately, with it running off its own internal battery, that's just never an eventuality with this Trackting. Now, like I say, it's great to be able to be creative with where you mount it, but you're probably slightly concerned about it getting pelted with mud and water and stuff like that, especially on a bike like this that is partially intended at least to go off-road, but it is mud, water, dust and heat resistant. And so that means you've got no worries at all if you do want to mount it somewhere like this around the swing arm or rear shock. Perfect for the commuter bike if you're riding through winter. Of course it's going to be wet, but also adventure bikes, dirt bikes and stuff like that. So look, a quick word on battery life as well, which is another great convenience of this particular tracker. They say it will last up to about 6 months in standby mode, 3 months of general use, and it gives you a notification through the Trackting app so you know when you need to charge it up. It's also hugely beneficial to have the USB-C charging socket there as opposed to separate batteries like AA's or something like that, because you'd have to remove the tracker and then swap the batteries by taking off the battery cover, for example. But with this one, you can actually just leave it in situ. If you've got access to the socket, you could either use a long USB cable and run it like that. You could also use a power bank. If it was in your garage, you didn't have anywhere to plug in, you could do it that way as well. And it takes roughly 1.5 hours to get to a full charge, which is nothing at all really, given how long it lasts. Naturally, the fob's got its own battery as well, so you'll have to keep a little eye on that, but it's a CR2032, you know, those little disc-shaped batteries, so very cheap to replace, easy to replace as well, and also fairly widely available. And they say that particular battery should last for a couple of years, so that's very infrequent. And they say that battery should last for a couple of years, which is very infrequent indeed. Now, the other part of the setup is, of course, the app, which you use to manage the device and track it. But I gotta say, this is another very simple process that just takes a few minutes. What you do is basically charge up the tracker so that it's completely full before you start setting it up. And then you register through the app, put in your details and follow the step-by-step process. The long and short of it is that you place the tracker somewhere, you take the fob away or the tag, which forces the tracker to go into parking mode, and then after a few minutes you'll get your first GPS location. After that, you can go into the app and change some of the settings. So you've got things like the motion sensitivity, you can change the name of the device, and you can put a photo of your particular bike. And I've got to say, it's really nicely designed, it's well laid out and easy to use. And so for me, another big strength of the Trackting system. Now, onto the price. It's £129 in the UK if you buy from Sports Bike Shop, and they also say you've got options to buy it from up to 60 other retailers in the UK, along with Amazon. After you've bought it, there is of course a subscription to maintain the service. You get 2 months free to get you started, and for global coverage, you're looking at £39 for a year or £59 for 2, which, you know, it works out at about £2.50 a month, which is really not bad for that peace of mind that it gives you. On top of that, you can use it in over 100 countries, so you can use it if you're going abroad, and I'll put a full list on the screen now, which you can also find on their website. Now, one comment that I see a lot on our videos about security devices and trackers is that people think it's cheaper and easier just to use something like an Apple AirTag like this one I've got here. But I think that's, you know, ill-advised to just use this to track your bike for a number of reasons, really. One is that it relies on other Apple devices nearby in order to get the location. It doesn't have a GPS inside. It just does a handshake with somebody's iPhone, for example, which uses its GPS location and sends that back to the Apple servers. So if it is your bike stolen and then stashed somewhere remote, well, there isn't much footfall and there aren't many people walking by with Apple devices, then you're probably not going to be able to find it. Whereas with a proper tracker like this that has GPS built in, it's still going to be able to get the location and share it back with the Trackting app. Then AirTags have like anti-stalking features built in, so you can't just stick one in someone's car and track them. It will notify them that an unrecognized AirTag is traveling with them so they can hunt it down and get rid of it so they're not being stalked. So yeah, if someone took your bike, put it in their van or tried to ride it away, but they had an iPhone on them, they'd effectively get an alert that you've been trying to track them with the AirTag. And so that's another prompt just to try and seek it out and get rid of it. Plus, it doesn't give you the proactive notifications like with the Trackting system. The fact that you get a phone call as well as the notification as well makes it very, very difficult to ignore. And also it can tell you if the bike's being interfered with or nudged. You're going to get a notification. So I just don't think these two things are comparable. I wouldn't mind if people put an AirTag in their bike as like another additional bit of security. It could almost be a bit of a dummy. If someone got a notification and got rid of it, they might think that's the only thing you're using. But realistically, if you want to properly track your bike, you absolutely have to pay for a proper purpose-built vehicle tracker. So there we go, that's our quick overview of the best features of the Trackting ONE. I think you can see it's a great product that's really worth trying out. And so if you do want to find out more about it, there are links down in the description below. Do let us know as well if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. We'll try and get back to you. Hit subscribe if you want to see more of the latest motorcycle accessories and tech like this. A massive thanks for watching today, and we'll see you in the next video.